Welcome back. Here's a stock that's moving today, up 3.7% is the lift in shares of Lundin Mining. It's primarily a copper producer. It is up today after fourth quarter results. The company said it had met its guidance on copper production. For more on the stock and the company, we're joined by McGil. He's Director of Minings and Metals Research at Stifel Financial, and he joins us here in studio. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Paul.
This company is primarily copper. You'll do a better job than I will of describing to viewers what it does and where it does it. But the company reported record copper production for the full year of just under 370,000 tons of copper, and its price of copper realized, in other words, what it sold copper at, $4.18 per pound US. That's a pretty high price, pretty high realized price. What is your take on these results?
I think they're good. Paul, and the way I would kind of preface it is what we saw yesterday with respect to Hudbay's results. The company got sold off on the back of lowering free cash flow expectations in 2025 because of lower grades across their Peruvian asset, and then higher capex at their Copper Mountain asset. What you're seeing what you're seeing Lundin get rewarded for is outsized free cash flow generation in the fourth quarter of 2024, and then on the company call this morning, guiding to stabilizing assets, mill performance in 2024, continuing into 2025 across their big three, Constancia, Candelaria, and Chapada, and effectively helping to drive that free cash flow. I think that's really what the market's rewarding this morning.
You mentioned Hudbay by mistake. I think you and I have spoken fairly recently on that stock. Is Lundin outperforming its peers in the copper producing world?
Not over the past year, and a lot of that's been due to perceived investor uncertainty with respect to the Vicuña District. The Vicuña District is a large porphyry copper cluster in Argentina that kind of straddles the Argentinian and Chilean border. And traditionally what you've seen over the better part of the past 50 years is copper porphyries occur in clusters, but they also occur along well-defined structural corridors in Argentina and Chile. And Lundin has done a good job of really being entrepreneurial, taking the entrepreneurial drill bit and building value in Argentina and Chile. And you kind of saw that come to a head with respect to the BHP 50/50 joint venture consolidating the Vicuña District.
Mm-hmm. The market likes those jurisdictions from a political point of view, correct? Argentina and Peru?
So what you're seeing, and it's kind of the Lundin Company playbook, is effectively a geographic re-rate. They did it with their Tenke deposit in the DRC, where they built that project up, effectively sold off a share to Freeport-McMoRan or Phelps Dodge back in 2007, got the re-rate on the back of that, and you're seeing them do that in Argentina with respect to BHP. Argentina is a bit different than Chile, and that's one of the reasons why there's more exploration upside on the Argentinian side, because the fiscal regime over the past 20, 30 years hasn't been great for investment. Right. That's changing into 2025 and 2026.
Changing in a big way because of the leader of Argentina.
That's right.
From investors, from an investor point of view, are his changes positive?
They are. Mm-hmm. They're effectively locking in a fiscal framework, lowering taxes for large infrastructure investments. And Vicuña is going to be a large project between the Filo del Sol project and the Jose Maria project, and they're going to try and take advantage of that with respect to FDI going back into the country. Mm-hmm.
How would you describe this company's sensitivity to the price of copper? How sensitive is it to, is its earnings per share, let's say, to a move of 10 cents or 20 cents up or down in the price of copper?
There are torquier names. For instance, Taseko reported last night. They are actually outperforming Lundin. Capstone is a bit more torquier. Lundin has always been a stable, diversified company. What you're seeing is that cash flow, or the cash cost base, is staying constant in 2025, which is good for their free cash flow generation. But they're probably middle of the pack with respect to copper torque.
And what is your view on that issue of torque? What kind of investor should move to some of the so-called torquier names with greater sensitivity to copper, and what kind of investor might want to pursue a more Lundin-style exposure?
Investors that would like to focus on Lundin would those that kind of want a view on longer dated growth, because Vicuña is going to be closer to the end of the decade. It's going to be large, it's going to be a game changer, but there is going to be significant capital investment that's going to be required. You saw Lundin increase the balance sheet strength last year by the sale of the European assets, focusing on South America. The torquier names are those that, think copper goes to $5, $6. Those are your Tasekos, your Capstones, those that have a higher cash cost base. So effectively that EPS accretion from higher prices filters down to the bottom line.
What is your view on the price of copper over the next year in the copper market?
I think the price of copper is the the copper market is healthier than I think what the equities are implying, and I think that's the opportunity for investors right now. Copper's outperformed the equities, the seniors, so your Freeports, your Techs, your BHPs, they've outperformed the mid-caps because the mid-caps have had a few guidance downgrades, effectively production being lowered. But I think that's ultimately good for the copper price. And you're also seeing a relatively healthy physical market in China too. So that's the opportunity for investors with respect to the copper mid-caps going into 2025.
So you've got a buy rating on these shares. Why so? And what is your target?
The buy rating is effectively underpinned by the fact that they have a 50-50 interest in one of the larger, more exciting copper growth districts in the world. Vicuña has the makings of what could be a supergiant. It's a porphyry cluster. It's on trend with the likes of Escondida, which you can come out of large copper assets that effectively built the Chilean copper industry. You're seeing that exploration continue on to the Argentinian side, and that's the upside for Lundin.
Do you have a target?
I do.
What is it?
$16.
Okay. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate it. That's McGil. He is Director of Minings and Metals at Stifel Financial.